Round one. Fight! KO. Round one. Fight! Round one. Fight! KO. Round one. Fight! KO. Round one. Fight!